soothe your pain.
All right, today we're going to do a basic retouch. This client is a natural level 5. She's got some gray. We're going to do some basics on how to properly apply a regrowth touch-up. You can also see she's got some very pretty sun-kissing and balayage that we did using a clear-based product and 30 volume developer that literally just sun-kisses. And we're going to preserve that by using a much clearer, sheerer gloss than the actual base color. Her base color is going to be a 5N, and then her gloss is going to be a 7M, which is a dark mocha blonde, which will just etch in some cool tones on top of the natural warmth, still preserving the dimension. So we clarified her hair to get out all the hard water minerals, and we like to color on damp, towel-dried hair after we've clarified. Since she's one of our regular clients, there's no need to do a crystal gel today, but that's definitely something that we do on a quarterly basis. I'm just prepping the hair to start my application. I like to go from the top all the way down the back and then start on my side applications. And I like to move the hair out of my way so I have a clear field for where I want to apply the color. Working off the sides of my bowl, I want to have just a nice line of what I call the toothpaste. It's just a line and a clean side of the brush so that I can lay in my retouch working within the line of demarcation. If you notice, I'm placing and dabbing and ever so slightly flashing for a seamless retouch. A lot of times we see overlapping and then the client would get a dark band here. If the client's oxidized properly, her color should be a half to 1 level lighter than what it's supposed to be, and then you can place and dab and gently flash the depth back into the new growth without overlapping. And you have to be meticulous in how you're applying your color. It's not as easy as people think. We see a lot of people just slapping color on. I like to constantly work with my comb to separate and open up my application area. We're going to pause the video, and when I get to the sides, we'll show you how we do that. So I've established my front all the way back to her nape. I'm basically painting in my sections, just like I did the top. But what we're going to do is we're going to work from the bottom all the way up. I'm just going to come in around the ear. The reason I'm showing this is we get a lot of discussion on things that people take for granted, and there's a lot of salons that just let the assistants apply a color, and as a master colorist I feel there's far more to it than just slapping on a color. What we're going to show you now is called a European application, where we actually start from the bottom, constantly holding the hair in your hand and dropping sections as we go. This allows for a very smooth, time-efficient application, and it allows me to work both sides of the regrowth with a place and dab method. If you paint, you're actually pushing the color away from where you need it, and you'll get lack of coverage, and you'll get a banding right there. That's one of the most common mistakes people have when they say, oh, my color didn't cover. So what we're doing is just placing and dabbing, European application from the bottom to the top. We'll check back with you when we're done with these sections.
Go.
So we've applied both sides of the back, going from the bottom to the top, and you can see how neat this type of application is. We see a lot of hair that's going back and forth in other applications, and what happens is if this was an ash-based color or a blonde or something, and we went like this, the shaft would be touching color-treated hair and it'd get a band on the mid-shaft. So by holding and dropping, everything is completely neat and laying nice. Now we're going to come in and do the sides. I like to gather up the hair, grab my comb, and get ready to pull it back so I get a nice clear side view of where I'm going to apply. And I'm going to work the same way from the bottom to the top. I'm going to establish coming around the hairline and around the ear with a circular motion and joining it back to this nape area. And then I'm going to finish the hairline. I like to do the hairline in this order. Some people like to do it first. Strictly a preference. I don't really see any science behind one or the other because it's all going to time the same. We also like to steam the hair under a steamer, and by working on damp hair, it allows me to put her gloss in on the hair while the retouch is processing to do everything all at once. So I'm working in that same motion, placing and dabbing, slightly flashing, bottom to top. It's a very smooth and easy way to apply color. We'll check back with you when we're ready for the gloss. Okay, so the entire retouch is on and now we're ready to gloss. You can see how neat everything is laying. Nothing is stressed out or pushed or pulled in any one direction. A little trick is when working with dark colors, put a little cotton behind the ear so not to stain the ear after your retouch is done. I'm also going to put some end papers around her hairline, which will keep the stubborn grays down during processing. Just some little tricks and tips I've learned over the years. So now we're just putting the gloss on, and I'm just working in sections. The gloss is a lighter color than the base, so I'm just laying my sections up this way, and it just allows me to come in and do it. I'm not combing it, I'm using my fingers, raking it through, get a nice saturation, and then lay those sections right back down so everything always remains completely neat and clean. No tootsie rolling, Hershey kissing. You need the hair to breathe. Everything we do in hair color is a gas that's expanding and evaporating and processing. And so we want to work in a neat and timely manner. So I just work through the sections, lay it in my hand. I like to do the old-fashioned bottle for my glosses. It allows for a good saturation. And then I gently lay it on top and keep working the section until I'm done like we did on the other side. When she's all finished processing, we'll show you the finished color all blown out. These are just some end papers we put around the hairline to keep the stubborn grays down, just a little trick that we learned. Now we're going to put her under a steamer, process for about 15 or 20 minutes, which cuts the average time of hair color in half. And then we'll blow her out and show you the wonderful finished color. You can still see a cooler version of those sun kisses. All the gray is gone, and it's a beautiful, rich color. And that's how you apply a basic color. Thanks, folks.